Meow and hello, the Cat Protector Noel Rosen here, and I want to talk about the government shutdown, or the supposed government shutdown. I think it's a bluff, because we've been through this before. But the media keeps putting it out there that, the small businesses are against the shutdown, that they're concerned about it, and that businesses will be forced to close, and all of this other doom and gloom stuff. Now, I'm a small business owner, but I'm also an individual as well, and I welcome a government shutdown. I wish we actually had one, a complete shutdown of government. Yeah, it would be great to actually have businesses making money for a change. That's right. Convincing people to actually spend money at privately owned businesses. Now, I know some businesses out there got small business loans from the federal government. My company was not one of them. Everything that I have earned, I've earned on my own. That's right. I actually worked for it. I've never taken federal money to keep my business afloat, nor did I accept federal money to actually open my business. So I'm not really worried. And I think a government shutdown would be great for business. We need to turn this economy around. Now, the businesses that are near the national parks and areas that are affected by the shutdown, well, they really need to adapt. Think up new ways to bring in business other than the parks. Many small businesses adapt to thinking outside the box. That's what they need to do. Now, there are other people that are worried about not getting their welfare checks because they fear that the government has shut down and they're not going to get their government checks or their help from the federal government. Well, maybe these people might want to wake up and actually go out and get a job or start their own small business. It can be done. Okay? I don't think anybody should be forced to have to pay someone else's bills or, to keep their family in a home or whatever. You got to work for it. I think there needs to be some pride here. I feel great when I earn everything on my own and I work for it, because then I get to actually enjoy what I work for because I know I've worked for it. And there's a lot of problems with this supposed government shutdown. I think it's a bluff. We've gone through this before. The fiscal cliff, do you remember that? Yeah, earlier this year. Well, we faced the same thing. Certain parts of governmentally funded programs were shut down due to budget. But this thing has caused a lot of chaos. Now, I know people are out there blaming the Republicans, saying Republicans are responsible. Well, to be quite honest, we the people have to shoulder some of that responsibility. After all, isn't it we the people that elect some of these people? So we need to start shouldering some of the responsibility here. But I really think that another problem is Obama. He's the biggest one in all of this. Now, I've been reading some of the news reports, and of course the old media, what we call the mainstream media, which is now, I call it the old media, is not reporting about this one. New media seems to be reporting about this one, but the World War II vets, okay, they don't get to visit they're told that they can't visit their memorial in Washington, and it's closed. Same thing with the Lincoln Memorial and every other federally funded memorial and park and everything. They're all closed. Yet, I was reading today that the National Mall in Washington, which is closed, that's right, it's closed, is reopening for a pro-illegal demonstration, there. The Park Service says that the pro-illegal groups, hey, you can protest there. Very interesting. So all of this chaos, that they're telling that these pro-illegal groups can actually protest in the National Mall, yet those of us that are U.S. citizens are told, well, we can't visit the federal, that we can't visit the national parks because they're closed. We can't visit the Lincoln Memorial because it's closed. In Philadelphia, we can't even visit Independence Hall and the Liberty Bell because it's closed. A lot of chaos with this, but I don't think that it's fair at all. So the pro-legal crowd is allowed to protest in these closed areas, but the rest of us are not allowed in there. Very big problem. And that's part of the Obama government right there. People need to start getting out there and speaking out. Get on those street corners and make your voices heard. We need to take our country back. Another thing that I was reading about is that furloughed government employees are being, asked to come back to the Pentagon. This whole thing was a big bluff by government. I'm not really worried. The sky is not falling. I'm not going to let it affect, my business or my way of life. I'm not going to let it affect. In fact, I've been out there protesting. I've been out there making my voice heard. Now, the media really doesn't want to give the conservative point of view, and I'm not surprised by that. But, it is a real shame that this is where our country is headed. Our country is headed towards communism. This is how it starts. And all of this chaos is a part of it. Now, shutting down the government completely, imagine the positives in this. No IRS. Okay? No Park Service. So, parks that we fund with our taxpayer dollars, we'd actually have a chance to get out there and enjoy it. Now, I've also been reading that, and actually saw a news report where residents of Lake Mead are told, well, they can't live in their homes that they bought because it's on federal land, and therefore, because the government has shut down, they're not allowed to live in their homes, but they are allowed to go back and get their stuff in order to leave their homes. Seems to me if people bought their homes, they should actually be allowed to live in their homes. So there's a lot of things, government throwing this temper tantrum. And main guy leading it, Obama. He's thrown a temper tantrum, and now he's trying to make the people suffer even more. But I don't see him leaving the White House. I don't see him, saying, well, I'm going to get out of the White House, me and my family, because the government shut down. We own that house that he is living in, that he and his family are living in. And yet, I don't see him giving up anything. The members of Congress, I don't see, they're on the other side. And really, I've got my things to say about the members of Congress. Congress has not done what they're supposed to do, and that's represent the people. So we have Obama on one side throwing a temper tantrum, and we have the Congress on the other side throwing a temper tantrum. And guess who gets stuck in the middle? We the people. Now, I'm going to take this time for those that have complained that they can't visit the national parks. A lot of them are very beautiful. Visit state and city parks. A lot of them are still open and would welcome your business. In fact, I think the businesses that are near these state parks and even the city parks would welcome your business. And it's been very beautiful here in Arizona, and I encourage people to get out there if they can. Not everybody can take a quick vacation to go visit our state parks, but there's some wonderful parks I know here in Arizona, and I'm sure in your state there are some great parks that could use the tourist dollars and really could use the boost. Go local. We can't visit the national parks. Go local and visit the state and city parks. That's actually a really good thing to do. And well, you know, all of this stuff, all of this chaos is tied into our country is sinking, and it's, you know, there was a time that I remember saying the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag and learning about the Constitution, and that is totally that seems to be going away, and that's a shame too. Our country, the country of old, the country that I remember that defended the Constitution, stood up for liberty and freedom, that's the one I love. That's the one I remember, and that's the one that I'm fighting for. So bottom line, get out, make your voices heard. I think that's the most important thing that we can do as a country right now. I could go on about illegal immigration. I could go on about the assault of our Constitution. I mean, that's been a big one. The Second Amendment has been assaulted, you know, with a government that wants to try to take our guns. You know, I'm a big advocate of the Second Amendment. I think it's worth defending, just like the rest of our Constitution is. That's how I feel. And there's just so many things to fight for, but I think generally we need to fight for the country of old and the Constitution. That's worth fighting for. So hopefully, you know, people will see this and they will get out and make their voices heard. That's about it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.